Hey y'all, Irrelevancy here. In case you haven't heard this little fun fact, I like Megaman a lot. From the great controls, good level design, and amazing music, Megaman is pretty consistently good. But there's a slight issue that I have with the Megaman games, and that is, they haven't evolved that much. Like, take Sonic's or Mario's first games, and compare them to their newest games. You can clearly see a plethora of differences that let them grow and make each game more unique. While with Mega Man, where you can clearly see some differences between each game, there just isn't enough to really make them stand out all that much. Like, Mega Man has had the exact same moveset ever since Mega Man 4, which released over 30 years ago. And compare this to the different movement options introduced with every new Mario or Sonic game, combined with unique gimmicks they add to each game to make them stand out even more from each other. And you can clearly see where I'm coming from. So, I'm just gonna throw out some concepts that I have for a new Mega Man game that might spice things up for the Mega Man series. So, without further ado, let's jam. Okay, so let's just start up with some concepts for the basic moveset of Mega Man. For starters, put the slide on a different button already, because the amount of times that I want to slide then I jump is too much to list. Next, I would have Mega Man be able to jump out of a slide, so he can keep his momentum and perform a long jump, similarly to Crash Bandicoot's slide and Donkey Kong's roll. Another idea I have is that when Mega Man's slide is about to end, I would have him briefly glow yellow, and when he glows, you can do another slide, so you can more efficiently chain slides together. I would also change how ladders work. If you jump off of one, you'll actually jump off of it and not just fall like usual. If you press up and jump, you'll do a high jump, and if you press down and jump, you'll fall like usual. Another thing is the ability to skip the death animation by pressing any button during it, so you can quickly just get back into the game, similarly to Celeste. Lastly, I would have Mega Man be able to crouch, so he can have more options to dodge projectiles with. Pressing down in the air will make you fall faster, so you can have more control in precise platforming sections. All of these enhancements are applied to the other characters as well, because they're essentially Mega Man but slightly different. Now let's get into the other characters' movesets, starting with Proto Man. He'll play mostly the same as he usually does. You know, only 2 lemons on screen at a time as opposed to Mega Man's 3, and he can block projectiles in front of him when he jumps. But I would have it to where if you press one of the triggers, you'll activate a counter, where he'll pull out his Proto Shield and deflect projectiles back at the enemy. This would allow him to be able to attack stronger, as his lemons aren't very strong. And it rewards skillful play, because the counter only lasts briefly. He can also counter enemies that attack him directly, which damages them and knocks them back a little, so you can knock them into bottomless pits and spikes to kill them quicker. Moving on to Bass, he's basically the same as he was in Mega Man 10, except he gets his double jump back from Mega Man and Bass, as I think it would allow for more potential for unique level designs for him. And that's basically it for Bass. Yeah, I didn't really do much with this character, huh? Lastly, we have Roll, who would use a broom to attack close range, similarly to Zero in the Mega Man X games. But when Roll pushes the attack button in the air, she'll spin her broom around and bounce off the enemies with it, like a certain hedgehog you all know and love. Needles the Porcupine. This would allow for unique level designs where you have to bounce off of enemies to get where you need to go. She also would have a roll instead of the regular slide, because it's a fun pun and it would make her even more different. It would be slower than the slide, but you can chain it at any time and it gains speed on slopes. But how would these extra characters be integrated into the game, I hear you cry? Well, I have a few ideas for that too. First of all, they could just play the same Robot Master stage as Mega Man does, but with unique level designs to take advantage of their unique abilities. This would make playing as another character through the same adventure more interesting and diverse. But I think I like my other, more ambitious idea better, which is character-specific campaigns with their own Robot Masters. This way you can really make each specific character shine, with stages for each of them. It would also make the playtime improve dramatically, because even with each character getting only 4 Robot Masters each, it's basically the same amount of stages as 2 Mega Man games. So that'd be great, And each character could also get their own Wily Castle stages, dubbed Wily Towers, as the true and blue Wily Castle is unlocked when you beat all 4 of their campaigns, which would have stages for all of the characters, resulting in the final boss, where you'd have to fight with each character in their own unique sections of the fight. Now here's some ideas for some extra modes you can unlock by beating the game. First is the Boss Rush mode, where you can fight all of the bosses in the game in a certain amount of lives, and the same health bar while getting some health back after a certain amount of bosses. You can choose to only fight the bosses in a specific campaign, the ones only in Wily's Castle, or if you're a masochist, you can fight every single boss in the game in one run. You can try to get your highest time by having your own high score table, comparing all your times, or by seeing the online leaderboards. The next mode I have in mind is an arcade mode, where you try and get the high score while having standard arcade rules, where if you run out of lives, it's game over and you have to start over. To combat this, you can find newly added continues in the levels, so when you run out of lives, you just have to start the specific stage over. You have the same options as the Boss Rush mode too, if you just want to play a specific campaign. And you can compare scores in the high score table and leaderboards. Finally is a designated speedrun mode, where you play the full game or a campaign, but it automatically skips cutscenes, boss introductions, the weapon get animations, and the weapon showcase screen. You can choose to have a timer on for the specific stages or the full game campaign. When in this mode, the game doesn't save your progress, so you have to complete it in a single run. But to make this easier, there's a practice mode, where there's infinite lives and you can play every stage at your leisure. It also records your lowest time for every stage, so you can try and get it as low as possible for each individual stage. You can compare your times in your times table or in the leaderboards. Now it's time for some miscellaneous ideas that I think would be cool. I'd like the return of intro stages, as they're great ways to help the player get used to the controls of the game, and help ease them into the notoriously difficult level designs of the Megaman games. I think that if they do the standard 8 Robot Masters, they should split them up like they do in Mega Man 7 and 8, so there's more of a natural difficulty curve. There should also be hidden upgrades like there was in Mega Man 7, so there's more of an incentive to explore the levels more. Some ideas for new ones I have are an upgraded slide that damages enemies, kinda like Charger Man's weapon in Mega Man 5, the double gear system for Mega Man 11, a double jump or a triple jump in Base's case, an air dash, a wall jump, and the hand launcher from Mega Man World 5 on the Game Boy, complete with grabbing items and extra damage by squeezing enemies. I would also like it if you unlock unlimited lives for the save file you beat the game on, so you can replay stages more casually. One more idea I have is the continue points, or the Act 2s in the EX modes from the fan game Mega Man The Sequel Wars and Mega Man 8. This would allow levels to last longer and have more twists and gimmicks in them. So, that's basically all of the ideas that I can think of right now. Tell me if you enjoyed my ideas or not, and what kind of ideas you guys have in the comments below. Or don't, I am not the boss of you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in 8 months, you swashbuckling swines.